Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? And welcome to this morning's installment of Contractors Chatter. Anyhow, I hope you had an amazing weekend. Excuse me. I don't know what it is about going live and this frog wanting to jump in my throat. I just don't get it. It just wants to get in my throat just as I go live. Interesting. Anyway, you know how we do. Say hello as you come into the room. Good morning. Um, Share the broadcast amongst your network. Vaughn, resend that because I didn't get it. Um, um, Share the broadcast amongst your network because we don't grow alone over here. We grow as a team. We grow as a network. Oh, wow. So there's a lot of things going on in the government front. You know, we're heading into an election year. They just passed the budget. I believe they passed the budget for the new oh my God. There's just too much going on with the government. There's just too much going on with the government right now. Um, we're headed into an election year. There are new packaging, shipping rules going on. Um, the zero trust rules are being implemented. So there are updates on coming down the pike with that. That will impact small businesses. If you remember in my morning tidbits, I told you that there were changes. Yes, there were changes coming down the pipes with regards to that were going to affect small businesses with zero sum and zero trust in regards to reporting cyber attacks um, and on your systems and implementing new safeguards and ensuring that your system is safe to do business with the government, especially if you want to do business with DOD and Veterans Affairs. And I believe those changes were supposed to take place effective June, and it was effective FY 2024, which starts October 1st. Those changes are on track to go in effect. So I know there are people out here saying, don't take it seriously. Yes, you should take any change that's going on in the federal space seriously, especially if you intend to do business with any of the big agencies, DOD and Veterans Affairs. You should take any of those changes seriously. And zero trust is a huge initiative that the government is taking seriously. Cyber attacks are initiatives that the government is taking seriously. So I know that there are specialists. I talked to one who felt that I was going to have him come speak at the Contractors Intensive, and he kind of felt that it was something that shouldn't be talked about. And quite frankly, I really feel that every business owner should take security serious. So I'm replacing him with somebody else. Cybersecurity is top of mind. I'm not telling you to go out and spend millions of dollars to enhance your system, but I am telling you, as a potential government contractor, as somebody whose strategic plan could include doing contracts in any way, shape, and form, even if that is as a subcontractor with Department of Defense, you need to take serious the Zero Trust initiative underway in the government. There are new things. Well, it's not new. However, that initiative is serious. They are tightening the helm, and the reporting that is being required for small businesses is on track to take effect starting the new government fiscal year. They haven't tightened or stipulated how small business is, because as you know, small business in the Fed space is companies making $2 million, depending upon your NAICS code. I would say, and then there are companies out here who are, if you go to the SBA website, I believe it's still up. There's a company that will actually go through your system for free and poke holes through it. Now, to implement the safeguards is not free. You can recoup the cost through your indirect rates. If you need assistance with that, book the time on my calendar. We can discuss how we can work together. So there is that. If you're an IT company, there are a lot of things coming out on a GSA schedule. I'm going to caution people jumping on the GSA bandwagon. First of all, learn the rules of the industry. We're going to start there. Secondly, learn how to use the GSA schedule. Just because you have a GSA schedule does not mean anybody is going to give you anything. I really wish people would stop that nonsense. No one is giving you anything. The GSA schedule just basically means you have a pre-negotiated set of rates for these services, supplies, etc. You still have to bid. You still have to advertise. You still have to go through steps. You still have to go through the motions. You still have to market. You still have to make yourself viable. Nobody is giving anybody anything in the Fed space. There are companies that have GSA schedules who have $0 in work. Why? Because they bought into the myth that someone is giving away work simply because they have a schedule. No one is giving anybody anything because you are in possession of. GSA takes away the negotiation. That's all. Allegedly. That's all it does. You still have to bid. You still have to market. You still have to do the work. There are some GSA contracts out there that are IT related. You can subcontract on GSA. So if you're IT or you are a service company, you should dust off your resumes, your proposal writing skills, because there's some work coming out. If it's not a GSA contract, you do not have to bid GSA rates. There are people who have you believe because you have a GSA schedule, you have to bid GSA across the board. No, you do not. That's just fantasy. And people taking advantage of the fact you do not know what you are doing. So, with that said, understand the industry that you're working in. GSA schedule, GSA rates are bound to GSA contracts only, unless you choose to bid your GSA rates across the board. That is something you choose to do, power to you. But you do not have to bid GSA rates across the board because you have a GSA schedule. GSA schedules are for GSA contracts. Otherwise, everybody would be on GSA. And we all know that's not the case. We are halfway through the final month of the third quarter of the government fiscal year. So we are entering low-hanging fruit season. For those of you who are already in the midst, that means the government has funds that they have to spend. Get in touch with your contracting officer, see what initiatives that are out there, and get those. And they need to spend that money. Everybody that knows how the government works, they need to spend that money. So I would get in touch with your contracting officer and see how you can be a resource to them. Help them obligate that money and help you build your network and help you build yourself as a go-to resource. For those of you new to contracting and have not built your reputation yet and have not built yourself as a resource, low-hanging fruit season for you is a time to reach out and find out how the incumbents are performing. This is the time where the contracting officers can talk to you about how satisfied they are with the status quo. So that when contracts come up for rebid, you can position yourself to be their cure for any lingering problems. The winner, incumbents are not always, if there was a time in government contracting, incumbents were guaranteed to win. That kind of died out in the early 2000s. So you can use low-hanging fruit season. I'm not telling you not to bid. I'm telling you to be strategic with your bidding. Low-hanging fruit season tends to be a time for those who have already done the work to be able to go out there and get that easy money. For those who do not have the past performance, for those who do not have the built reputation, it's a good time for you to do research. It's a good time for you to find out what your customer needs is and to build a reputation of being a listening ear, as well as putting in proposals. I will never tell anybody not to bid, but to also put it, but to be a listening ear. Because as long as there's not an RFP out in the street, that contracting officer can talk to you. You can also get a wind of what initiatives will be of importance come the new fiscal year. you want to be ahead of the curve, not trying to figure out what the curve is going to be. So you can get your shop in order. You can figure out what you need to do. You can figure out who you need to get in your shop that you don't already have in your shop. You can tighten the holes in your strategic plan. You can bring in a consultant if you need to bring in one. You can source one if you don't already have one, so that when it's time for boots on the ground, you can have all your boots in order. So low-hanging fruit season is a multifaceted thing that means different things depending upon which stage in the game you're in. So it means different things to different people depending upon who you are and what stage you're in government contracting. And far too often, people try to play this game of, I'm at the same stage in business as the next person, which is why you don't yield the same fruit, but we're not all the same thing. I can't expect to harvest the same if I didn't plant the same. So my fruit isn't hanging as low as the next person, if I have any fruit hanging at all during the season. Sometimes my low-hanging fruit isn't hanging at all. Sometimes that fruit needs to be planted during that season. It is what it is. So low-hanging fruit season for me may be fruit planting season. So with that, and also you have to keep in mind, this is the time of year you should be strategic planning for Q1 of the government contracting year, which starts October 1st. You don't wait until October 1st to plan. You plan during low-hanging fruit season. And the outline of your strategic plan should be in development now. So now, as we know, the contractors intensive has been postponed to 2024. It'll be in September. I'll be signing a contract for that next week. I am putting on an event October 5th and 6th, 2023, here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that event is Christians in business. Now, this event is not for you if you're not a believer. This is a specific event that I did a pivot on. And this is a faith-based event. This event is speaking to believers who feel they have to put their faith down to lead their businesses. That's not true. Now, I'm not saying you need to go into every meeting with your Bible. That's not what I'm saying. But we're going to talk about that in this event. You don't have to put your faith down to lead your business and to be in business. So go to this URL. We're going to lay out, I've already put up a tentative agenda for the event. I have some great speakers coming, and I myself am coming. I hope I didn't lose my camera when I did that. I am so sorry. I didn't think about that, what I just did at all. But I think this is a valuable conversation that we should have in the faith community and in the business community. Because I think sometimes we believe when we're doing business with people of faith, there's something wrong with that. No, it isn't. Because when we're doing business with people of faith, we're doing business with people who stand in integrity 9 times out of 10. And people, and those of us who have faith, we don't have to put our faith down. Our faith leads how we do business. We just need to learn how to do business in the way that God says do it. We don't have to Bible thump. And every word that comes out of our mouth doesn't have to be thus saith the Lord to do business. So I'm inviting you to join me at that event. For those, it actually turns out to be 2 full days. Breakfast and lunch are provided both days as we talk about that. Now, as a part of the event, there will be 2 workshops. I believe the agenda includes 2 workshops on positioning what you sell, talking about how you sell it. And then I'm doing 2 workshops on selling it to the government and how to be a government contractor. And then I'm also hosting a late night fireside chat in addition to the conversation around being a believer in business. So the Contractors Intensive, which is a separate event, has been moved to 2024. And that date and that website will be announced later. But this event is for those who are believers, who are in business, going into business, who are struggling with how to conduct business, or just feel that they're supposed to put their faith down to be in business. No, you don't. Be in the room so we can hold this conversation. Now, if you're not a believer, or if you don't have faith, or you have a problem with faith in business, this event is not for you. And that's okay. It's okay to select not to attend. If you know somebody who should attend this event, pass along this link to them and let them know come. I really believe this is a powerful conversation we'll have around leadership now, and around ethics and business, and how to ethically lead in business, and how to effectively lead in business. We're really just gonna tie this all around. So that's how we're closing out this morning's edition of Contractors Chatter. I want you to join me tomorrow for another edition, and have an amazing, amazing day. I invite you, if you have any topics you would like to see me cover, send me an email. If you have any questions, you can direct message me, you can email me. However, if you have any questions or any topics, or if you have any commentary or anything I've spoke about today, you can post it in the chat. I go back and review all of my recordings, and I respond to all of my comments. So with that, I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another installment of Contractors Chatter. Have an amazing, amazing day, and be good to yourself.